Hello everyone, it's Retroaction. We're back to part 2 of my Transformers the Definitive G1 collection review. We're continuing with The Harder They Die, which is volume 7. Last time we did Target 2006. Now this is continuing the UK strip. And you can see we've got Predacon Rampage, is it on the front there? No, it's not Rampage, it's Tantrum. We've got Tantrum on the front there, we've got The Harder They Die. Got an image from the comic, Transformers Definitive G1 collection, got Grimlock on the spine there. The classic Marvel UK, Marvel US Generation 1 Transformers storylines represented together in sequential lines for the first time ever. It's the end of an era as long-time foes Optimus Prime and Megatron clash, and then clash again for the final time. Or do they? Is it really over, finished for Prime and his arch nemesis? Or is there quite literally more to these fatal encounters than meets the eye? Featuring the Predacons, the records, and the shocking truth behind Optimus Prime's disappearance in Target 2006. Collecting Transformers UK 96 to 104, and Transformers US 24 to 26. 2017 Hasbro, Hachette Partworks Limited. Right, okay, so here we go. So we've got a nice spread between Optimus Prime and Megatron there, with Laserbeak, Wheeljack, Ironhide and Prout. Transformers, Volume 7, The Harder They Die. Right, so these are the UK stories. So this is obviously following on from Target 2006. And the problem is, Marvel US were killing off Optimus Prime and Megatron. So this is how the UK goes about it. And we've got Straxus there, who's going to be making his appearance. Right, so here we have it. So we have Prey. Interesting enough, they are using the 1989 logo, as you can see there. So there's an obvious error already, given that this story originally came out in late 1986, early 1987, I believe it was. Yes. I don't know actually, hold on a minute. 7th of January 1986, 1987 even. That's the cover date. So there we go. Right, so we've got Optimus Prime there in the art. So the first story is called Prey, it's written by Simon Furman. I believe it is anyway. Oh, where is it? Where does it say? Where is it written? Yep, there it goes, script Simon Furman at the top there. Now basically got Optimus Prime discussing things in the art. It's quite cool, he looks like how he did in the toilet. And we've got Motormaster there getting attacked by Megatron. We've got Soundwave here with his plan. In a way, Commander, yes, the Motormaster. A moment, Commander. What is it, Soundwave? Do you want to tell me how to do my job? In a way, Commander. Yes, the Motormaster is in serious need of new diodes. He may accidentally have hit upon a workable idea. If you've had a group of hunters proficient enough to flush Prime out into the open, you would have him at your mercy. Though you are in every way his superior, it would do no harm to have the weight of numbers on your side. What you suggest has merits, but where would we find on Cybertron our elite cadre of hunters still exist? Of course, the Predacons. Do it, Soundwave. Summon them here via the space which Optimus Prime is as good as dead. Megatron, I doubt that very much. I have seen a side of Optimus Prime you could never dream of when we fought in that murky little dimension, which we'll come to later on. The story you'll see in Transformers 100, which is coming up. I came to understand why we have never convincingly beaten him. So it is logical, is it not, to make use of this knowledge and maneuver Prime and Megatron into a situation where the only winner is Shockwave. Soon I shall reign supreme as ruler of the Decepticons. Right, so there we have it. The arc, one moment later, you cannot be serious. Optimus Prime has just told Prowl and the other Autobots that he's going to go on a reconnaissance mission, as you see there. He's going to the Decepticon base, and we have the Razor Claw, because of course this is introducing the Predacons. You know exactly what you must do. Serve me well, and a glorious fate awaits you in the new Decepticon hierarchy. I understand the other Predacons have been briefed, and they too agree to your plan. For all our sakes, it had better succeed. Oh, it will, Razor Claw. It will. So there we have it. And now we have Optimus Prime. We've just entered the scene of battle. They are called the Predacons, Prime, and they will be the death of you. Right, so here we have Optimus Prime Now realising that the Predacons are after him, so we have the battle. We have him facing Razor Claw. Tantrum comes up. Don't think we have introduced before, Prime. I'm Tantrum, and I reckon that all the strategy in the world can't beat brute force. Got dive bomb, yeah, and I've got me a ringside seat for the end of Optimus Prime. So he's been surrounded. I don't believe it. I love this bit. Well, thanks for the lift. But as this is my stop, I think I'll be getting off. So there we have it. So we've got Optimus Prime there. The plan is for him to fake his death, but now he's come across that the Predacons have combined into Predaking. The running is over, Prime. You may have been able to hold us at bay as individuals, but against Predaking you have no defence. It's a bit annoying because obviously I can't get all the pages into view. Hold on a second. I also need to do something. I've got to get out one of the normal UK issues, because I do have one of the original issues from this run that we're looking at. So I'm just going to get out one of the original comics, so we can look at that later. And I'm just going to have to find another way around this, because I'm struggling to get these. Just about make it out there. And now we've got Optimus Prime getting into his trailer, which I don't think happens much. But now Megatron's telling the Predacons to finish the job. But secretly, the Predacons are also under the... Oh, sorry about that. The Predacons are also under the influence of Shockwave, as we saw earlier. Shockwave has decided to... That will be featured soon. I don't know. Well, I've already seen it actually. I think Razor Claw's going to bring this up later. But either way, Shockwave wants the Predacons to turn on Megatron. However, now Optimus Prime has just come across Razor Claw. No, oh no! Later, what a mess! It looks as if Prime met with more than the slight problem you mentioned, Wheeljack. Certainly looks that way. I can't believe Prime went to all this trouble to fake his death. Can something have gone badly wrong? Wheeljack, look, it can't be, but it is. Optimus Prime, or what's left of him. Next, the harder they die. So Optimus Prime has been torn apart. Just quite the shock. Of course, this is set after Transformers the movie, 1987 when this came out. So, of course, Optimus Prime has already met his demise, and now the comics are following suit. Right, so here we have the harder they die, and now, however, it turns out Optimus Prime here is on Cybertron, and we'll get to that in a bit. He cannot believe how much it has changed. His home world, his beloved Cybertron, is now a desolate metal wasteland. Its sky polluted by the stench of 1,000 battles. Towering cities have been levelled. Once proud Autobots ground beneath the boot of oppression. This is not the world he once knew. Some things, however, never change. Like jackals, you Decepticons prey on the weak or the small. Who? Perhaps you would like to try your luck with me. So we have it, he's coming against this Decepticon, and now we've got Outback, which Optimus Prime is explaining why he's on Cybertron. Oh, he's just saved him from the Decepticon. I'm Outback, thanks for the save, Optimus Prime. You're kidding, the Optimus Prime? I thought you were long dead. No, I re-survived. Our craft, the Ark, crash landed on a distant planet called Earth. So he's telling this whole story about that. And crashing on Earth and everything. But now I've got Megatron again. There he is. But here we have Straxus. Silence, I will deal with Optimus Prime in due course. But not perhaps before I have dealt with you, Megatron. That was not my fault. I was betrayed. I noticed that so far. You seem to have had remarkably little success on that score. His presence on Cybertron now is yet more evidence of your failure. I had him. He was beaten, helpless. It only remained for the thrice-cursed Predacons to finish the job. A task Razor Claw and Rampage seemed eager to carry out. Too eager, as it turned out. Their initial leap took them clear of Prime, and a second took them away into the forest. My momentary shock allowed Tantrum and Headstrong to stun me, so of course they turned on Megatron. And there we have him. They have the space bridge. So of course Straxus is going to be recurring. He is the former Decepticon warlord, which appeared in one of the comics I have here, the Return to Cybertron storyline, Transformers in the US, where he went up against Blaster and died. hence why now he's just ahead. That's why he lost his body in the UK continuity, but in the US he finished. That's Lord Straxus to you, even though, thanks to the Autobot Blaster, I am forced to endure this mockery of life. Oh, there you go, Transformers 69, there it is. That's the Return of Cybertron storyline. Calm yourself, Straxus, you have nothing to fear from me, and Prime does. The Autobots will do it for me. Icon, no. So there's Optimus Prime, seeing that Icon is now a decimated ruin. He's come up against a Guardian robot. And now we have this. Decepticon, the charges of spying and impersonating our greatest warrior. The verdict of this court is guilty, the sentence is death, and the wreckers will be only too pleased to carry it out. The Autobots have just found, well, it just turns out the Autobots believe Optimus Prime is an imposter. And they have it under fire. That's quite the revelation we've got going there. So we've got Ultra Magnus and the Wreckers believing that this Optimus Prime is in fact a fake. So they're going to take out the real Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime's going to die by his faction's own hands. His friend's own hands. So that's quite bad. And we've got Megatron there with Straxus. Optimus Prime dispatches the Centurion, or Guardian robot even, there he is, he gets destroyed. The Outback has just been fatally wounded. Again, we got another logo there. We got the wrong logo at the top there. This is obviously the reprint from the later days. So I'm not using the right logo for this time period anyway. This is the 1989 logo they're showing here, but this story's from 1987. So we got Outback being told a story about Optimus Prime, just to make him better while he faces death. And we now have what happened to Optimus Prime when he disappeared during Target 2006, which is this story, Distant Thunder, which is Transformers 100. And we have Shockwave, Skywarp, and I think it's Frenzy, because Rumble's red in the comics. And the toy line, and basically what ends up is Shockwave ends up killing all these people, and they end up having to escape this dimension. Now we stop fighting. We do. But Shockwave, listen to me. If nothing else, hear the logic in what I am about to tell you. It is my belief that we are somehow being mentally manipulated, forced into situations where our natural reaction is to fight. We've got these darker beings here which drain their energy, and the other ones that are friendly or something like that. And either way, they all get taken out of this dimension. But that's basically the story of what happens when they had all disappeared during Target 2006. However, now we have this story. The continuation of the Autobots' attempt to kill Optimus Prime, believing he's an imposter. It's over, Decepticon. The Wreckers have found you, and this time there's nowhere to run. You're dead. Well, what? I certainly don't intend to beg for my life. Rather, I will beg for the life of this truly heroic Autobot. I had thought that my death would grant Megatron his greatest victory. Not so. I fought back against my fellow Autobots, dragged this innocent victim into my personal war. This is Megatron's greatest victory. That is Megatron's greatest victory. I almost missed the wisdom of my own words when I told Outback that to fight should be the last resort. I understand that. Who? You are right to summon me, Ultra Magnus. Voicing your suspicions may just prove to be the saving grace of us all. I have listened carefully to your little speech, Decepticon, and I have just one thing to say. Remember, Zoan, you live, praise the Matrix. Optimus, welcome home, my friend. Of course, that's the end of that. So welcome back on Cybertron. And now, we have this storyline back on Earth. And it is the return of Galvatron. And Galvatron is dispatching the Centurion robot. Well, completely destroyed it. And we have the whole thing about Unicron coming in, Transformers the movie. How he wanted to blow up Unicron. I had kept the control device that I'd used to operate the time jump mechanism to effect my return from 1986, which is issue 87, part of Target 2006. No one but me knew that it could send me back again. In fact, issue 87 is just before Target 2006 even. It's the prologue, I believe. No, I don't think it is. But anyway, it's just before Target 2006, so obviously this is following on from that storyline, of course. We've got Warpath and Scepter there. Galvatron's in his laser cannon mode, just blasted them. Gets shot there, but there's no way of taking him down. But now we have something else going on. And now that head once belonged on the shoulders of a friend of ours. Now he wants your head. Who? We're the Dinobots, and that's bad news for you. So the Dinobots have come in. And we have this story about Circuit Breaker here, and we have Fallen Angel, Part 2. We have Blaster and Grimlock. Grimlock might have just defeated Galvatron there. I don't think so. He's thrown his sword at him anyway. And we have Shockwave. Indeed, I recall your logic tape of the whole episode, and what Soundwave would you surmise is Galvatron's motive in time joining back in 2006 once more? He tried to seize the mantle of leadership from Megatron last time, perhaps. Yes, of course, he wishes to do so again, but this time from me. The Shockwave's leadership is under threat by Galvatron. We've got Swoop here, which just got hit. Galvatron's taking out Grimlock. Of course he can't, because they're great characters. Decepticons attack. No, curse you, Prime. You've even turned my fellow Decepticons against me. And there we have it. Well, I don't know, it was just unreal. So now we have Octane here, taking out someone. Autobots, attack. And we have Resurrection, Part 1. So this is now back on Cybertron. And we've got Octane here running as Autobots. Autobots are taking them out. We now have the story continuing with Straxus. Curse her and curse Megatron for bringing him here from Earth. The Cybertron Autobots were almost beaten. Soon even their feeble resistance movement would have crumbled. Straxus is not pleased that Megatron has brought Optimus Prime back to Cybertron, of which the Autobots are loving having Optimus Prime back. Autobots, hear me please, thank you. Comrades, I have no wish to dampen your spirits, and indeed I share your joy at this reunion and your elation at our victories. I feel we should temper this celebration with caution. So Optimus Prime wants to return to Earth, of course, even though everyone loves him back on Cybertron. Everyone's loving him back on Cybertron, but Straxus is not pleased. Optimus Prime still lives. What are you going to do about it, Render a few more of my troops inoperative, perhaps? Go back to Earth, Megatron. You no longer belong here on Cybertron. Perhaps Prime will feel constrained to follow you if you leave. So Straxus wants Megatron to leave, because before, the Decepticons had pinned down the Autobot resistance. However, one last attempt to try and usurp Megatron has not ended very well. As I promised, you die! Hold it right there. Lord Straxus, is that you in there? Fear not, my most loyal Decepticons. Megatron is dead, and Lord Straxus lives on in his place. So Lord Straxus has usurped Megatron because they've disagreed. Megatron crushed his head, and now Straxus has usurped control of his body. We have Resurrection Part 2, which, believe it or not, the Autobots on Earth believe Optimus Prime has been... Well, Optimus Prime died, of course, but actually it is believable, because the last we saw them was when they looked down at Optimus Prime's torn body, torn apart pieces. These pieces strewn across the field. So, of course, they believe he's now dead. And Straxus has been killed. Well, his head's been crushed, but actually he's now living on as Megatron. But later, Megatron does regain consciousness again, and Straxus disappears once more, having to find another way to get back control of Megatron in a future issue. However, just as they believe Optimus Prime is gone, he comes back on his headstone, and that's the end of that. And that is how the UK comic. That's how this ends. Not an unpleasant prospect of that, but this is the beginning. So Ultra Magnus and the Autobots on Earth now know that Optimus Prime is back. We have this spotlight. Well, we have this summary of the many deaths of Optimus Prime in the Transformers movie Generation 2, the end of the US comic. And now we have Transformers US 24 to 26. And this is basically the US comics way of killing off Optimus Prime and Megatron. Unlike the UK, where he tried faking his death and ended up, well, a clone of him or something, ended up getting killed by the Predacons, but not the real Optimus Prime. Here we have the US comics attempt on it. Yes. Here we go. This is a ludicrous story. We have the Predacons, we have the Protectobots and the Combaticons who are fighting Megatron and Optimus Prime are using their armies in this computer world. They've hooked themselves up to this game system. And basically they're in this computer world in Ethan Zachary's lab, and they're firing at each other. And whoever loses gets blown up. And so we have Onslaught up against Hotspot here, because that's what they like to do. Have the equals go against each other, you know what I mean? Each side is equal, so you have the Combaticons against the Protector bots, Stunticons against the aerial bots, that sort of thing. And then we have Defense all taken out Megatron. The bridge has just collapsed, and Megatron has taken out Optimus Prime. Megatron's just fell. However, Optimus Prime has just won, but he believes that he hasn't won because he violated the Autobots' most cherished principle. I knowingly harmed innocents because of our conflict with the Decepticons. Ethan Zachary pressed the button on my joystick. I am the one who lost the game, but not Megatron. But press it. And that is it. Optimus Prime has been defeated. And just because he harmed a few innocents, he has been blown up. And now his memory is copied on a floppy disk. And you don't ask, it's a ridiculous story. And that is the end of Optimus Prime. Absolute rubbish. Shit. But there we go. Gone but not forgotten. So we have now the death of Megatron. Megatron's just not knowing what to do. He screamed. Well, he obviously remembers the fact that Optimus Prime got blown up by Ethan Zachary. But I believe he's starting to think that Optimus Prime may not be dead. As you can see there. He's getting angry at Shockwave. Did you keep squeezing until there's no longer any reason to switch? So anyway, Megatron's getting angry at Raw. Obviously it's doing something. Or was it Onslaught? Not the Onslaught actually. Onslaught or Raw. For one of the Combaticons. Are you certain, Raw? Are you certain? Yes, Raw's getting attacked there. Shockwave believes Megatron's lost it. He is attacking everywhere. We leave here immediately, everyone. Oh, he lives. Optimus Prime lives. I'll complete the preparations for the hypothermocline transport Shockwave. You do that, Soundwave. But first, raid Cybertron on the hyperspace com. Blink again. I have another message to deliver. So of course, Shockwave and Soundwave are thinking that just Megatron's insane, and they're hiring the Predacons yet again. As leader of the Predacons, you'll appreciate this Razor Claw. It involves your team's speciality, hunting. Who's our prey? The most dangerous prey of all, Megatron. So Megatron believes that this cab that just turns out to look like Optimus Prime is Optimus Prime, so he blows them up. Yeah, there we go. And now we got the Predacons again, which come in. I believe this is their US story introduction. And here they have it. They're going up against Megatron. You can see they're beating him up quite badly there. Megatron's secretary has been revealed and everything like that. And they're just onlookers as Megatron gets beaten up by the Predacons. And eventually they take out, well, Predacon takes a hit there. And then Optimus Prime, he lives, but he won't get Megatron. No, Megatron is too clever. Yes, too clever. Megatron will go where no one can follow him. Where Optimus Prime can never follow him. Boom! And Megatron is completely destroyed. He blew up the space bridge and himself with it. Correction, Soundwave. Although everything went precisely as I planned, I did not destroy Megatron. Memory did. Yeah, so the memory of Optimus Prime being blown up killed Megatron. There we go. And now we have Funeral for a Friend, where the Autobots believe Optimus Prime cannot be fixed, so they're going to send him off into space. And it's a bit of a crazy story, but we do have his funeral barge get sent off at the end there. We have the mechanic who wants to steal weapons. There he is, there's the funeral barge just there. And the Autobots are just about to send him off into space, believing he can't be fixed. There he is, he gets sent off into space there. And that is it, that is the end of Optimus Prime. We'll stay for some time. But however, the Autobot arc has decided to turn against everyone. And just quite a novel, which is an interesting idea. As you can see, the arc. Omega Supreme, what's happening? Didn't you deactivate its defenses? I don't know, Blaster. I thought my system was foolproof, but it no longer responds to my radio signal. Someone's sabotaged the Ark to fire off against the Autobots. Have you finally put the loss of Optimus Prime behind you? No, not yet, but I guess I've been too busy to think about the dead. I've been too concerned with helping the living. And next we have Tripticon the Dinobots. Anyway, so there we have it. So Transformers 24, Game Over Optimus Prime, Megatron's Last Stand, and the Return of the Mechanic. Right? And we have the Transformers UK, which have much better covers and much more enticing storylines. Your free Galvatron badge, there's Transformers 100. Nice spread. And we have Deadlock, which has got a great cover of Predacons versus Defensor, and Under Attack from the Ark, which, funny enough, is the issue I have right here. So that is it for The Hard They Die. Obviously it's just named after the one story in there, but there we go. So here we have Under Attack from the Ark, 25th April 1977, 32p, and this is basically that story of the mechanic and Optimus Prime getting sent off into space. We have on this funeral barge, we have the stars there, which is quite nice. Yeah, it's quite a good strip. Well, the UK stories are much better. I mean, the UK stories were good, but this one's not. Battle Beasts, we have Humanoids as the backup strip. And next week, the Dinobots are back, and boy are they hungry. There we have it. And they're here to replace Optimus Prime, because of course Optimus Prime's been killed off for a time. Because it came after Transformers movie. That's quite a nice poster we got there. But where's the bit where we have him getting sent off into space? Well, that might be part 2. The mechanic, yes. Oh, come on, where is it? It's a bit of a pain trying to get these pages. These pages to separate. There we have it. And we basically just got the same thing we just read. Next, King of the Hill, which is the whole thing to do with Tripticon. So there we have it. That's it. That is it for part 2. I'll be back with Haunted Galvatron Dead or Alive. See you then.